Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. On today's episode, we have Karen, and she is starting something really awesome. So I would love it if Karen could share with us right now what that is.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you so much for having me, Nick. It's an
Of
honor
course.
to be here. I'm in the process of launching a brand new community for families impacted by a loved one's addiction. And it's a mission that is near and dear to my heart. And as a yoga teacher and as a family recovery coach, I like to support those who are often left out of the recovery conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the families. And
Yeah.
I think I'm a big and firm believer in families need recovery too.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with that. My mentor is actually the number one recovery expert in the world, and he talks about
Mhm.
that so much, how important it is to involve the whole family in someone's recovery. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might, but it has a much better chance
Yeah.
of we our loved ones can find recovery a lot better when we
Mm-hmm.
can support them in effective ways. And families are not given the tools or the right advice. There's a lot of really bad advice out there, and it's tragic.
Yeah. And if families don't know how to help, they're not gonna because I don't know if your family's like mine, but they're they're more the suck it up and get over it type. So when you have that in recovery, it's not gonna work very good, you know?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of it's generational for sure.
Yep.
And when I was found myself, I always say I was in a divorce. I was married. Yeah, I grew up in an alcoholic household. I married an individual who struggled with alcohol addiction.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I was going through a divorce that I discovered Al-Anon. And I didn't know. I mean, Al-Anon was great for me. It's a 12-step community for
Okay.
families. And it was super helpful to me. And I thought that's all there was.
Mhm.
And I always say, I have to preface this by saying, I didn't leave my husband because he had a drinking problem. He left me because I drove him absolutely crazy. And that's a really important thing because I think if I had the tools that I wish I had, that I have now, I might have saved my whole entire family, my children, from a lot of hardship that we had to go through as a result of that divorce.
Yeah. Yep. And it's good that you kind of realize that and you're moving forward and you're helping other families, you know, live better. So can you tell us a little
And you
bit
gotta do
about
you gotta do something with that energy for
yeah,
sure. You gotta do
exactly.
something with that, you know?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry, go ahead.
I tell people, like, you can't fail if you don't give up. So, every time that I have a setback in life, I take it as a learning experience. It's, "Okay, let's stop, look at what happened, and what can we do better next time so then that doesn't happen again?"
Exactly. And can I just share one little piece about my story that I think is really important for people to know?
Of
When
course.
I say I grew up in an alcoholic household, my parents didn't drink, but they grew up in alcoholic households.
Yeah.
And that is a really important piece of the puzzle that I don't think a lot of people realize that grandparents can be qualifiers
Mhm.
because they both got married very young to escape bad situations at home.
Mhm.
And when we don't have and they did the best they could. I had a fine childhood. I'm not complaining about the way I was raised, but
Mhm.
there were things that, things about their relationship that mm, whatever, I won't get into, but it just makes a lot of sense to realize this they only know what they know. And they were only brought into their marriage what they grew up with. And just that's
Yeah.
how the cycle continues. And I just think it's an important thing to acknowledge that. Parents can only do the best that they can do with what they got.
Exactly, and I find it interesting that you brought that up, you know? Your parents didn't drink, but their parents did, and find
Right.
it interesting because my mentor, Doctor Rob Kelly, that I mentioned before, he whenever he gets a patient who is, like, an actual alcoholic, like, they have alcoholism, he can always
Mhm.
trace it back at least 3 generations in the family. And it usually
Yeah.
skips a generation or 2 here and there. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and it was because of their experience that they went the whole entire opposite, and I'm not saying they didn't drink, they drank occasionally, socially, they were not big drinkers at all, but it's so entrenched in our culture.
Mhm.
Alcohol is
It
such a
is.
big part of our culture, and, and it's a problem
Mhm.
for a lot of
I agree.
families right now, a lot of families.
Yep. So when it comes to your, community, what's your big vision for that, and how are you gonna help people?
Well, okay, so, I told you how my journey began in the rooms of Al-Anon,
Mhm.
and that helped me enormously. I really learned so much. But then I took it about as far as I can go, and then I discovered yoga. And then I discovered Nikki Myers, yoga of 12-step recovery, and she put together the 12 steps and yoga and blended them together so beautifully. And when I learned about that, and she was, she's this beautiful, massive, and now it's global. Um, uh, Effort to support people in addiction recovery with the principles of yoga and the 12 steps. And when I learned about that, I said it was one of those really earth shattering moments. And I said, oh my gosh, families need this too.
Yep.
And so everything that I see working in the recovery field for addiction recovery, I said, families need that too.
Mhm.
And then I discovered a friend of Nikki's who's Tommy Rosen and his Recovery 2.0 community. It's an online community where he brings all sorts of support to people in recovery. And he's doing amazing work. And it's this great, big, beautiful, thriving community. And when I saw that, I said, I want to create that for families. I want
Mhm.
specifically, exclusively for the family members who are struggling with the loved one's addiction or mental health challenge, because those are very, very strongly intertwined. So
Very.
when I discovered, so those two just led me on a path and of learning and growth. I was inspired to become a yoga teacher, and
Mhm.
all the mindfulness practices that I learned were such a huge part of my healing. And I
Mhm.
just knew I had to share that. So that's what I have inside the Serenity Circle community. It's a place where we get some coaching and we have support groups and we have yoga and mindfulness and breathe, book discussions because I'm a big reader and I just love book discussions.
Me too.
So we have a whole lot going on in there. It's all online. Anybody can join from anywhere in the world, and it's just a beautiful space to support people who really need it and giving the tools to effectively support make it a good, solid, impactful change. And it really begins with getting our health selves healthy and strong, mind,
Yep.
body, spirit. Because the
Yep.
focus really has to be we have the addiction is what do they say, cunning, baffling, and powerful, right?
Mhm.
And we have to, if we're going to fight this, we have to be more cunning, more powerful, and stronger than ever. We
Yep.
have to bring our best selves to this.
Yep.
And most of us, after living for years and and exhaustion and frustration and fear and anxiety, because that's what so many family members are feeling. You're watching somebody if they're doing drugs or addicted to alcohol or some other risky behavior.
Mhm.
It's painful to watch somebody
Mhm.
kind of throwing their life away. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of drama that goes with that.
Yep.
And when you're living with that and you're watching somebody you love, going down that path and you're frustrated, you're angry, you're fearful. The overdose epidemic right now is
Mhm.
is terrifying. You say, "Oh my gosh, my loved one is doing this. I got to do something to stop it." But
Yep.
usually what we bring to it is anger and our fear
Mhm.
and our frustration, and we feel betrayed. It's like, how could you do this? How could you do this to our family? Right. And
Yeah.
we beg and we plead and we do all of these things that are not effective,
Mhm.
but we're depleted. We're, after years of living this way, we're not bringing our best self. I know it because I made every mistake you could possibly make. So I speak this from personal experience. I did not bring my best self. And
And
it really comes with that. Does
well, that's what
that
I
make
love.
sense?
That's what I love. The best people that can help someone through something hard is somebody that went through it themselves, like you. And
Too.
that is why
Mhm.
people can trust you because they understand that you know how it is, you know what it's like, you went through it, so you know how to get to the other side that they want to be at, you know? And that is so powerful.
It's a lot of work. It's not
Oh, yeah.
easy. It's not
Yeah.
an easy path.
Well,
Addiction is a big problem.
it is. And it's been scientifically proven that the substance, let's say alcohol, is only 1% of the problem with addiction. Everything else is you. It's your past, the trauma that you went through, your mindset, your family. Like it's really eye opening once you dig in and like find out like what causes addiction and what people work on to get through it. And I love it because you're talking about all the things that I learned, you know, mindfulness and healing traumas and all that. That's what you need to work on to get over an addiction.
And we can't do it when we are treating these people. See, one of I think the biggest things we need to bring to the addiction conversation is compassion.
Yep.
And the way our country, the world has been dealing the drug war, the war on drugs. It's like
Mhm.
drugs are not the problem.
Mhm.
For our loved ones, they're the solution. They're escaping something. They're seeking something. We got to look at not the substance, but why are there so many people reaching for a substance? What is the basis of that? And I don't think throwing people in jail is the answer. I mean, it's just like a lot of, as I say, there's some experts that say most, if at least 90% of the people that struggle with addiction, yeah, they're dealing with some sort of trauma. And we're not, and then we treat them like they're trash, like they're the worst people on the planet. The addict and the alcoholic, the labels we use are just awful. And that needs to change because when we are even in the treatment field, even the way treatment professionals speak to and about people who are struggling. The stigma is real. It's all over everywhere. And the
Mhm.
conversation about addiction and the people who struggle with it, I truly believe needs to change. And that's one of the foundational elements of the work that I do.
Yeah.
We got to shift our mindset about how we're looking at this because
I
how we've
agree.
been dealing with it is not working and it's only
No,
getting worse.
no. And I'm sorry, but like a lot of treatment centers, they don't really treat you to heal you. And like that's why I love what you're doing. I love I love when people can find a source outside the traditional way because I think it works better. For you, you're somebody that went through it. You're somebody that understands it. You're taking everything that you went or that you did, and you're helping people do the same. Because I mean, I'll just be flat out. I talked to a guy about 2 months ago now. He worked at a treatment center for I think it was 8 years, and he said that he had to quit. He had to quit because their job was to keep people coming back. So just help them enough to keep them coming back, so the center would get paid, and that was just awful. I don't like that.
So tragic. They really are. There's a lot of good ones. We got to first
Oh yeah,
acknowledge that. There are a
definitely.
lot of good ones
Yeah.
out there, but there are some that are revolving doors,
Yep.
and it's really tragic. There's a lot of money being made. It's a
Mhm.
multi-billion dollar industry,
Yep.
and it's tragic.
Mhm.
And
It is.
I could talk for hours about that, and
Yeah.
that's it's a conversation for another time. But I would love nothing more than to, and a lot of them are missing that element of supporting the family.
Mhm.
And you know what
Yeah.
are families being told? Kick them out, cut them off, wait for them to hit rock bottom, and just nothing you can do. Right? That's what they gotta want it. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like
I've
you can't find recovery if you're dead, first of
exactly.
all.
Mhm.
And you can't be an influence if you don't have a relationship with that person.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, and, I deal with a lot of family members that have gone through addiction, a lot of friends. So, I've helped people get through addiction, and mm, you and Doctor Rob are the only people that are focused on bringing family into it, and that is
Yeah.
so powerful. So that's why I love that you're doing that, because I know it works. I've seen what Doctor Rob can do. I've seen how many people he's helped, and it works. So, you're doing amazing
It
things.
does work.
Yeah.
It works. It's effective. I mean, not
Mm.
100, nothing's 100%,
No,
but,
no.
it's a whole lot more effective than, interventions and things like that. And,
Yep.
so much of that is blown up on TV too. You see these stupid shows about this. So it's just awful.
Mhm.
It's awful.
It is. It really is. Alright, so for the people listening, how can they get involved in your, community, and how can they work with you?
Well, they can visit me on my website, which is called mindfulfamilyrecovery.com. I work with families directly. I work with within treatment facilities who will have me teaching yoga, recovery yoga, and offering my family programs, doing my family support workshops and stuff right there inside facilities, which is an area of definitely that I'd like to grow. And there's my Serenity Circle community where people can join and get all the support that they need, and addiction education, and really trying to understand the situation better. To join the Serenity Circle, it's just serenitycircle.co, and it's free to join. Did I mention
Awesome.
it's free?
You did
And
not? No.
it's a lot of a lot of free resources in there, a lot of
Awesome.
great to give you a good starting point. We have guest expert interviews once a month. We have monthly yoga, monthly support group. Um, and then there's an upgrade. There's an upgrade to paid option for $37 a month where you just get a lot more support
Yep.
right there. But I
That's
don't think
amazing.
I try to keep the price really low because I don't think recovery should be a luxury.
Yep.
And but what we want there are people who are ready to take action, that really are
Mhm.
ready to do something, and we need to advance the family recovery movement.
Yep.
And and that at the heart of that is eliminating the shame, the blame, and the stigma around mental
Mhm.
health and addiction.
Mhm.
That right there is my mission.
I absolutely love what you're doing, and I
Thank
I
you.
know I know that me and you are going to keep in touch because I wanna help you
Mhm.
any way that I can.
I so appreciate that.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I appreciate your story and everything that you're an amazingly inspirational person,
Well,
and
thank you.
I love the work that you're doing as well. And I so appreciate this. You're helping and helping me advance this mission because it is
Oh, yeah.
so near and dear to my heart. It's just one of those things I can't not do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get that, it's your, purpose, you know? We all have
Yeah.
a purpose in our life, and sometimes we don't figure that out until we're 30, 40, 50 years old, but once we do, it's like, "I got this. I know what I would put you to do." So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's just I can often say, we didn't even get into the entrepreneur journey,
Yeah,
but
no.
it's just like, I can honestly say, it's like, I don't even know if I really wanna do this because, oh my god, this is a lot. It's
It's
a
a lot.
lot to get
Yeah,
something like this off the ground, but and that may be a conversation for another day, but I can't not do it. I'll go
yeah,
crazy if I don't.
yeah. Just keep pushing forward. Just keep doing everything you can, and all
Will
of a
do.
sudden one day you're gonna be like, I did it. It's going. I'm
Did
helping
it.
people. Yeah. So just keep on going.
Just keep trudging through. Just keep trudging through.
Yep.
But we did have a beta launch of the community last year, and I learned a lot. So
Yep.
now we're relaunching with a whole new vision. Well, same vision, just different execution, and it's
Yep.
gonna. And I just know it's gonna take off. I just know
That's
it.
awesome. Oh,
It will.
oh,
It must. It has
yep.
to.
There's no choice. It has to.
It must.
Yep.
Yes.
I love it. I have one more question. So my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does it mean to you?
Your abilities are infinite.
Yep.
Oh, that's so beautiful because it's like I think it speaks to the potential most people don't even realize they have,
Hmm.
right? And really tapping into that, it's so important. We are all so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for.
Yep.
And and to be able to work with people and make them realize that is really rewarding work. And that is something I enjoy most. And it's the discovery I find every day and all of these challenges I have to overcome to get to where I want to be with this
Hmm.
community. Let's just say I discover something every day I didn't know was possible
Hmm.
that I could actually do. It's like, and you don't know until you do it.
Yep.
So, oh gosh, I could talk about that all day too, but
Well,
that's just a few of the places where my head went right off the bat.
I think that's awesome because I think you're my 210th guest on this podcast. I've asked that question to everyone, and yours was the most spot on with what it means to me. So I
Oh,
think that's
really?
really cool. Yeah, we're capable of so much more than we think, and we all need to push ourselves out of our comfort zones to figure out what we can do. So yeah,
Right, right. And
amazing.
we just don't know. And I am amazed just
Yep,
about every day.
yep. Same here.
And, oh,
Same
if
here.
only if I could only teach my children that. Oh,
Well, you just gotta keep, drilling it into their head. They can do more. You can do more. You
yeah,
know,
they don't
Y-
wanna listen to me.
children are fun.
Again, conversation for another day. We don't have enough time to get into that.
Yep. All right, Karen. This was awesome, and I would love to have you on as a guest in the future also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to chat
cool.
with you. I could chat with you all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right,
I love what you're
Karen.
doing. This is so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. And thank you for the work that you're doing because it really means a lot to me.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. You're very welcome. I'll accept that with grace. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember your abilities are infinite.